Hi, I'm Claire Pires, and I'm the host of GLAAD All Access, GLAAD's video series that features interviews with newsmakers, hitmakers, and people making a difference. This week, I sat down with Matthew Warchus, who is the director of Pride, which is based on a true story about a group of LGBT advocates that support a group of miners in a lengthy strike of the National Union of Mineworkers in 1984. Take a look. I'm Claire Pires. I'm here with Matthew Warchus from Pride. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for talking to GLAAD. So my first question is, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about what the movie Pride is about?
I'm primarily a theatre director from the UK, as you can hear, and I was sent a screenplay. Stephen Beresford wrote Pride, and he sent me the screenplay a couple of years ago. And anyway, I read it, and for me, it was the best screenplay I'd ever read, in fact.
How has this affected you personally, making this film?
Well, I think like lots of people who see the film, it leaves you with a feeling of, can I do more? What else can I be doing in life? And that the Lesbians and Gays Support the Miners were just a group of amateurs who really, young people, didn't know what they were doing. They were making it up as they went along. And they had this crazy idea. They didn't get a lot of support from their own community or from, from outside, but they just pushed forward. And their idea simply was to cross the road, if you like. It's a very emotional story, Pride, but it's not particularly sentimental, largely because these two groups came together to try to triumph in the face of adversity. And they failed, in fact. The miners were defeated in their campaign. They didn't win the strike. And also AIDS, of course, at the time took a real hold over the community and took its toll on certain members. But I think the story says even the defeat can't be an excuse for lack of action. And there will always be a legacy. And so there were a very big ripple effect that came out of these events and changed politics, left-wing politics and gay and lesbian politics in the UK in a very significant way, ultimately. Did
you receive any responses from the LGBT community or from the mining community about the film?
Yes, a lot. I said to Stephen, right at the beginning before we started making, I said, I don't feel qualified to be able to make a film about gay and lesbian culture and rights now. But for me, what I think was so remarkable about the story itself and the way Stephen wrote it is that it's about people and finding common ground between people. But I was all the time nervous about making sure that I didn't misrepresent that community as well. So Stephen would be there on set, he's gay, and he would be there sitting next to me on set a lot of the time, and he'd say, you've got the wrong type of guys in the gay club for 1980s. They're too muscly. So he would give me like little details I couldn't possibly, guess at. The movie played at the Cannes Film Festival, where it was awarded the Queer Palm. So for me, that was an enormous sense of relief.
Did you receive any responses from the people who were involved in this in 1984?
I got to meet several of them, particularly Mike Jackson, who's kind of keeper of the archive. He gave us, for example, 3 or 4 albums of about 200 photographs at the time of the real events, them making their trips to Wales and with their buckets collecting money outside Gays the Word bookshop in London. And so one of the reasons that I hope the film has got a kind of documentary feel to it, to a degree, is because of these photos and being able to ask questions of the real people. I think globalization and the internet and some things have actually dwarfed our sense of power a little bit. I think we're kind of overwhelmed by the scale of things, and people are generally disillusioned with mainstream politics, I think, and I've found that one of the things I've found really heartening is how young people, 18, 19-year-olds, or 16, 17, 18, 19-year-olds, have seen Pride, and they've been really inspired by it, and they've seen these young people just on a grassroots level, just trying to improve things, trying to make a difference. And it's a story about how it is possible to design society the way you want it to be, and we can all play a part in that. And I think that's why I think it's such a political film. And the fact that it's able to do that in an unintimidating and a non-preachy way and an very entertaining and moving way, that's the thing I'm most proud of.
Well, thank you for talking to GLAAD.